It's hard to understand it unless you have experienced it. But homelessness can happen to anybody.
I never, ever thought I would be homeless, ever. I always thought it was the guy you saw on the corner with the can, asking for money. And I never thought about children that were affected.
People, they don't think about the children that are homeless. And that they don't get to eat every night. But it doesn't matter what road you take, it could still happen.
I lay here at night sometimes and I sit here and say to myself, I've failed my wife. I've failed my kids. A married man should not put their kids or their wife in any kind of danger, like losing a home. So yeah, I feel like a big failure, but I'm trying to work that out. My name's Shane Evans. I'm 35 years old. I'm a husband. I've got 3 children. Been working, just trying to survive. I left my wife and my kids with a new place. I just paid for the place the day I got arrested. I was locked up for forgery. I had washed and cashed some checks. It's wrong to do to other people, but I had to do what I had to do to survive. When I was incarcerated, my wife ended up losing her job a day after I had gotten out of prison. We received an eviction notice. That's what landed us here. We had no other place to go. I started looking for work right away, and I couldn't find it because of my record. I only got 90 days at the most to stay here. I've been here 2 months.
Two years ago is when we lost our house. My name's Kelly Taylor. I have 3 kids. I have a 12-year-old boy, 11-year-old girl, and a 2-year-old boy. I was pregnant with my 2-year-old son, and that's when really everything started going downhill. We couldn't pay the rent anymore. I didn't have a job. I was 7 months pregnant with the baby. Our lights had been turned off twice. Our water had been shut off. So I had actually went and stayed with my mom for a little bit. It was rough on her, it was rough on us. So I thought it would be best to go. They're great kids and they didn't deserve it. There's definitely a sense of guilt.
The time that I became homeless, I ended up moving in with my mom. But my mom, what I didn't know, was also being evicted. My name is Candy. I am 26 years old. I ended up living in the car. was me and my 2 children. There's nights that we didn't know where we were going to go. They understand a lot and they know what to say to people, which makes me sad because at this age they shouldn't know that. It's a very depressing thing to say. I am homeless. And my 2 children are homeless.
All right, demon children. This is your bus. Give me a kiss. Hey, have a good day at school.
I go to bed with anxiety and depression, and I wake up the same way. But when I walk out the door to go to work, I feel like I've done something to better myself, so I come back in a better mood. But when it's time to lay down, I look at my wife and my kid. It's like, man, why can't just something better happen for me tomorrow? I'm scared. If something doesn't go through, that could put me, my wife, and my kid out on the street. It's put a lot of stress on my children. They're all good children. I'm proud of them all. And I hope they don't turn out to be like their dad.
A typical day back then was the dread of having to survive that day. It was always living one day at a time. My lowest point was when me and my son, the baby, he was a year old. We were basically living in the car. The oldest 2, I was so happy they got to go to school. And then during the day, our big thing was going to the laundromat and getting to do laundry, because the rest of the time was spent in the car. I always felt like, is this ever going to end? Is this what the rest of my life is going to be? I couldn't do it anymore. That's when I came here. I wanted my kids to have something stable.
When we were staying in the car, it was scary and I was getting depressed. I almost gave them up because I was scared for them. You know, I'm sorry. But I found out that there's a place called the Blessing House where they could go. I had to make a hard decision. It's only for children. I wasn't allowed to go. So I ended up putting my kids in there. Some of the stuff that they experienced there, I missed. I should have been there. I was scared that they thought I abandoned them. I continued to stay in the car. Being in the car by myself was very scary. My son, he has a monkey, and he told me that monkey will keep me safe. So I would take Monkey and I would take my daughter's teddy bear and I would hold them. About time 4 o'clock came around in the morning, that's when I normally left where I was, because people get suspicious after a while. And I would drive, or I would go to places to get cleaned up. I would get cleaned up in parks or gas stations. I spent my days trying to find a job.
Anxiety's been through the roof. I would say I could see a happy point when I get into a place and get my family back. Until then, I mean, all I can do is just be happy at the moment. They're really good kids, they're smart, well-mannered. They see what I go through and I tell them, don't go down that road. I do feel trapped right now, but I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a matter of breaking down the barriers and getting to it.
When they were in the blessing house, it was so depressing. I couldn't go to parks. And when I had to go to parks to clean up, I would look at the toys, because they should have been playing on those toys. It was very difficult to hear that my son cried every night. It was hard to hear that Autumn missed me. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a good mom, because I should have a house for them. I should have beds for them. And I don't have that right now for them. And I feel like a really bad mom. But there's times where my son hugs me at night and he says, "I love you, Mommy." That makes me feel like I'm a good mom, because I'm still here for them.
I tried not to think about it, because I kind of knew. I knew that they didn't think highly of me.
I've been trying to show them that, you know, Dad wants to do the right thing, to show that their dad is not what they've seen. That's what I want, to be the providing father and husband that my family deserves.
Yeah, my kids motivated me to get out of being homeless. They motivate me to this day to never get back in that situation.
There's days you don't want to go on, but my kids, they helped me go on. I woke up for them.